G'day everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Anna and this is You Got Me in Stitches, but you know that already. It's a bit of a giveaway, isn't it, when my channel name is called that. Righto, so today coming in at you all about the Dressmakers bar primarily. First up, I am just going to talk a little bit and tell about the pattern, because you guys did not actually see in the making of my bar gown the actual pattern in its kind of full visual sense. So this is it here. It is the style 1501, and yeah, there's two views there, and I kind of opted for this view, however omitting kind of all these ruffles here. I kind of thought it was a little bit mamby-pamby for me, and kind of just went with the straight there. However, I did add the kind of detail there, and again omitting the ruffles there as well. I did not add any of those, and also the ruffles on that one, I did not add any there to the bottom of the bodice. And for those of you guys very kindly, how you managed to watch 50 minutes of the making of, you guys, thank you so much. But obviously there was a whole bunch of hard yakka involved, and yeah, I created what you guys saw and then added in the photos of the finished result. So all I'm going to do here is just kind of tell about a little bit of the dress and show more of the details and everything like that, so then you guys can see how many layers and yeah, a little bit more of the intricacies and some of the things that I swapped out. Yeah, also I wanted to say on the bodice there, a little bit closer, there is some ruffles also on the detailing there, and I decided to omit that as well, because yeah, there's a lot of ruffles kind of going on in this pattern. And also this is a, if it would focus, a sit size 14. Here is the line out there on the back, and I came in at kind of a 10-12 and kind of just adjusted the pattern. Obviously you saw the process of how I did the bodice mock-up and everything in the previous video. Righto, so I am just going to start off first with the skirt, and yeah, look at this guys. So the entire circumference of the hem, as you can clearly see, look how dirty it became. And yeah, so I need to get that cleaned, and yeah, that is something that I can easily do. And yeah, I actually have a couple little cleaning garments that I am currently working on, not for myself, for other people, so this will get added to that pile, and yeah, maybe in a few weeks I will get this all cleaned up. And yeah, it was just because in the end it was actually still a little bit too long, and yeah, I was tripping over it as well, which yeah, is not really great for obvious reasons, because I do not want to fall, but also, you know, it's kind of a little bit awkward, kind of generally speaking. So yeah, need to clean that up, and yeah, it's all the way around. I only serged the hem of this to stop it from fraying. I did not serge or fold under the chiffon. I kind of wanted that left raw, and yeah, so I need to take off at least another inch on the Duchess sit-in, and then obviously I need to then finish that hem, and then also go on and finish the hem of the chiffon. Not entirely sure on the little detailings here that I put around if I am going to embellish that further. And also there was another stain here. It looks kind of faint on camera, but yeah, there is another one there, so I kind of need to go in and clean that out as well. Okay, so let's start with the waistband here on the skirt, and yeah, I included 2 heavy duty hook and bars, one there, and yeah, there is enough fabric here that I wanted kind of as a modesty panel, so then when you kind of bring over the waistband to both the hook and bars, obviously there would be enough fabric there, because if I pull that back and then kind of bring it up, it's on a slippery table, and that is setting is slippery as well, so that is all open down the back until a point down here where I did secure it with a couple little basting stitches, and then I can just kind of either step into the skirt or kind of just put it over my head and then let it drop down. And I'll show you a little bit closer on the inside because they show up a little bit better. And yeah, I just kind of ran the fabric in one length because again I decided not to do panels, so this is one long continuous piece of fabric, and yeah, the only seams are the ones at the back. And yeah, so I just kind of eyeballed the pleats there, and obviously this is not laying flat, so they kind of look a little bit askew anyway. In the waistband I included some stay tape, and yeah, the one that you saw, which I dyed a different colour, again for extra strength and security, and so the Dutchess setting and also the interfacing did not stretch out. I know it would not anyway, but again just for extra security, because bear in mind there is a whole bunch of extra weight with all this gathering and fabric. And then like with the champagne Dutchess setting, for the white chiffon I just did exactly the same and gathered it up, and then made sure that the waistband got, excuse the noise there in the background, that's the little cavey and the teabagged bunny just kind of boinging around in the background having fun. Yeah, so I made sure that that was encased in the waistband there. And also it depends how the light is. Now I did mention this on the in-betweenie when I typed out, well TE did actually, typed out about sometimes white fabric. You can get white fabric, but sometimes, especially after it's gone through the laundry, sometimes you get, oh no, like my whites are not white anymore, and it is because a lot of white fabric has pigmentation. Sometimes you can get a slight discoloration of yellow, grey, blue, pink, lilac, and yeah, sometimes like the grey and yellow can kind of make whites look a little bit dirty, and sometimes that's not always a great thing, but again it's just kind of the way the fabrics have been manufactured. So yeah, a couple of photos that I sent to my friend, the white chiffon kind of came out a bit lilac, and I was like, no, it's not lilac. And yeah, just kind of how the light picked up the pigments. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of you guys know that, but yeah, just a little kind of thing there for anybody that does not know that whites kind of have a pigmentation going through it. Righto, so here we have the knitting, which is what I use to incorporate the underskirt, and there you can see the bustle. I'll come back to that in a sec. And yeah, I'm doing my best to kind of film this in a way that you guys can kind of get to see it as best I can, because if I hang this back on the mannequin, obviously sometimes you get kind of all the background because you can see through it. So I've just laid this on the conservatory table right now. So yeah, those lines going through it, that is all the boning. And now that I have worn the gown with obviously this underlayer, I kind of now wished I put a little bit more boning in to add just that little bit of extra structure. But to be fair, overall, even with the boning that I have in here, there was enough structure to kind of create the poofiness in the skirt that I kind of wanted, and then the extra kind of poof at the back with the bustle. And again, with that, I could have actually put a little bit more padding in. Right, so I just flipped it around, and again, I used this stay tape to kind of have that extra security and strength, not only to hold the fabric, but also I'm using this as ties. So there's 2 ties there, 2 ties there, and again, like with the Duchess satin on this knitting, I created extra fabric here, so when they cross over, it crosses over quite a bit, and then obviously they then get tied like that. And yeah, for modesty, even though it did not matter too much, because obviously it's under a whole bunch of layers of Duchess satin. And again, with the other 2 fabrics, I just gathered the knitting as well to obviously have a lot more of it to be able to expand out. I know I'm not describing this very well, guys, and yeah, I know I should kind of brush up on the technical terms, but I hope I'm making sense. In here I made a bustle, and like I said, it is, yeah, a lot more squishy than kind of I was hoping, and I wanted the kind of double tier to kind of grade and kind of gradually use that sort of stepping stone effect. But yeah, I could have, in hindsight, added a little more of the bitting inside to kind of create a lot more structure, because it is a bit too squishy. And also, I was thinking at the time, but again I was on time constraints, I could have actually added a little bit of boning under maybe one or possibly both to kind of, you know, create that illusion of that silhouette of more sort of structured poof along the back where the bustle is, to create obviously fabric coming out a bit more higher than I thought that it was going to be. But again, you know, it's all a learning curve, it's all fun, and it's all part of the sewing journey, or journey in anything. So yeah, that is what I used here, just 100% cotton fabric from a thrifted bedsheet. And also thrifted was the bedding that I used inside as well, and that was originally from a pillow. And yes, it's all clean and everything like that, and hygienic. Okay, so starting off with the bodies, and yeah, I definitely swapped out, as you can clearly see, and yeah, did not want the extra ruffles along the kind of corset or bodice, if you like, hem, so I hand stitched the bias binding. Then on here, on the detailing, I think this was just a little bit too large, because in the kind of photos I could see, but also when I was stood in the mirror, believe it or not, I actually stood in front of the mirror. Yes, and I saw my terrible reflection, and yeah, anyway, so the fabric here, the chiffon, I kind of wanted it a little bit more taut, and as you can see, as you start to do that, you get those kind of gentle little gathers, and that's kind of what I wanted to achieve, and it did not happen as much, part in part because the way this is designed, it's supposed to kind of sit on your shoulders a little bit, and yeah, it did start to do that, but then it just kept slipping down. It must be my silky soft skin or something. But in the end, it kind of just drooped kind of more flat, kind of like that. I guess it's not going to show up very well because obviously it's flat lay at the moment. And yeah, so that was slightly disappointing. I could maybe go in and just, yeah, make it a little bit smaller, so then obviously it would be a more taut, and then it would create those little gathers, because obviously as soon as you bring that up as well higher, straight away it creates it. Anyway, here's what it is. Yep, so I did all the fabric roses and put a single pearl in there, which I got from a thrift store, which was originally a necklace, and for those of you guys that watched the making of video, you would have already seen that. And here, this is what I added last minute. and I know it's the wrong colour because this was going to be stitched on. I wanted these to then be the shoulder straps even. And yeah, when I first put it on, it worked fine. And then I think stretching, obviously trying to put this on over my head, may have stretched these out, because yeah, for the rest of the evening they just kept slipping off my shoulders, and also the weight of the rose. Yeah, so it kind of then created a corset that looked like it was off the shoulder, and that is something that is not always my look to do. I kind of prefer things on the shoulder. Let's flip it over. And also, hugely, what I swapped out, the pattern actually called for a back zipper. No way was I going to install a zipper on something that I've worked incredibly hard for, and then it come out absolutely terrible, because you know they are my arch nemesis. And also I'm thinking, by the time you've added all the strength and the layers and everything like that on kind of modern zippers, I do not think that they could handle the weight of everything. I know you can stabilise it and everything like that, and yes, I agree, but yeah. So I opted to put in a modesty panel there at the back, create all these holes, and then make all these ties. So a little bit there peeking under the rose. Yeah, and that is kind of the look that I was really happy with. These are a little bit thicker than what they should have been, so they should have been a little bit thinner, and then yeah, perhaps it would have been a little bit easier. But also the holes as well, I can make the holes a little bit bigger. I have to still go in and hand stitch those because I again run out of time. And yeah, so there's the back rows. Each has one single little pearl inside, and then yeah, all the pretty albino peacock feathers. And yeah, they came from Frankie, and the lady, which again I'll link her below, she's based in the UK, and yeah, she's had pet peacocks for a whole bunch of time, both the colourways of peacocks. And yeah, so this is Frankie, and I think if Frankie may see these feathers, he might go, ah, that's what you use them for. But yeah, they are so pretty, and they naturally fall off the bird. There's no intervention, so please guys, for you guys out there that may sort of think, you know, things. And yeah, no, the lady looks after her birds wonderfully. And yes, these are just naturally, what's the word, molted, there you go, naturally molted feathers. And then the lady Fiona, she just gathers them up, and I think by trade mainly she's a florist, and then incorporates the feathers in her floristry and everything. Show you guys a little kind of peek in the inside at the back. So all I did is just run some machine stitches to hold the feathers in place. I will go in and do further stitches a little bit lower down, because obviously they're kind of just swaying around a little bit. So yeah, that is the corset there. And finally, this is the panel, for lack of a better word there. And yeah, this is separate, so it can be tied on and then taken off. So come in a little bit closer and you can see all these pretty Frankie the peacock feathers. And yeah, they were all stitched on. I did start to machine stitch them, and then I started to hand stitch them, and unfortunately it's really tricky to do hand stitching, especially on the feathers, because your white thread can sometimes get a little bit lost in the finer feathering here, and therefore I just went back to machine stitching, and it took a whole bunch of time. But yeah, so glad that I managed to do it all. And yeah, guess what time I finished? I finished at 23:57 p.m. just literally that night. So that was the Friday night, and yeah, so then get myself ready to bed, and that was probably about 1:30. And then yeah, get up early in the morning, get myself ready, do all the things, and then yeah, it was time to go and leave and then meet the wonderful Adele, my friend from Sorry for Serenity, for obviously the Dressmakers ball day and everything kind of running up towards it, and then the evening of the actual ball itself. So yeah, this is my dress kind of in more details for anybody that was interested and had sent a couple of PMs. I was intending to do this anyway, guys, so do not worry. I just did not want to add this to the already very long video of the making of. Otherwise, I do not think that any of you guys would have ever made it to the end. So yeah, tell me what you think, and have you made anything similar like this? Really be happy to hear. And yeah, you just get lots of ideas and inspirations. This was just kind of an idea that I already had anyway. It was not necessarily inspiration per se. It was just, you know, that I adore nature and particularly birds, and I thought, why not albino peacock? And also, again, just quickly before I flip to the actual ball for you guys, yeah, I would have liked to ideally add more feathers here to the train, but again, it was just on time restraints and everything like that. Okay guys, so yeah, there is a little bit of a closer look at my gown that I made for the Dressmakers ball. And now I am just going to leave you all the highlights from the ball itself. And yeah, I know there's a couple of people who have already put their videos out, and it's wonderful. And yeah, let me know if you had attended there. And yeah, what did you think? Or is it something that you would like to go to? It is a really wonderful experience, and yeah, the wonderful ladies from Crafty So and So, they are the wonderful organisers behind it all. Again, you'll find their link below, and also they're on Instagram as well. And it's just absolutely amazing to kind of have everybody come together, especially on one night, and people are always busy with their schedules and things and just life and everything in it. And yeah, it's just amazing, and seeing everybody what they created, and yeah, just good to have a catch up for a few hours and kind of just, yeah, take yourself out of the reality of everything that's going on in the outside world and just have a few hours of fun. And then the next day there was a little bit of a meet-up. There was a few people there. Again, add photos there, so then I explain now so then you know what that's to do with. And that was just like a brunch. And yeah, there was a whole bunch of us there. Managed to meet a couple people that I was hoping to meet but did not actually get a chance to speak at the ball itself, and then saw them in the later part of the morning. And yeah, and believe it or not, no fabric purchases were made, because Adele and I, by the time we went walkabout and everything like that, things were beginning to close a little bit early. So yeah, which is all good, because yeah, the purse was very happy. Not that I perhaps would have really spent anything, because I'm just not able to do things like that right now. But yeah, it was really wonderful doing brunch and kind of catching up. And yeah, the other ladies sitting, eating, talking, and yeah, like what people do, I really do not know what else to sort of explain. And yeah, I'm also a little bit shy as well, you know. There's moments where I kind of like sit there quite quietly, and it's really hard to kind of go into a conversation when people already had that conversation and bring something to it. I get really nervous and shy on things like that, and I just sort of sit there and engage by listening in other ways. You know what it's like. And yeah, so then we started to kind of go kind of in the arvo, and yeah, then sort of saying our farewells and hopefully catch up either at other events like the knitting and stitching show and other sort of craft things like that. And yeah, so but thank you so much for everybody's time that did speak to me, and like the photos and things like that. It's always fun, and yeah, it's just making memories, isn't it? And if you've got photos or footage, it just kind of encapsulates that memory forever, which I really enjoy. I know sometimes I've learnt I still get shy in front of the camera, even talking to you guys. It's incredibly like the nerves and anxiety and being shy and everything like that, it's not easy, and it does not get any easier. And I don't know, it's just a funny feeling. Only those that go through that kind of understand that. But yeah, I'm glad that I kind of live in a time that there's technology to like take photos, so then you have them kind of in your photo album and look back, you know, when you're old and everything like that, and think, oh my goodness, do you remember that? Do you remember your dress? Do you remember your shoes? Do you remember yada 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 and everything like that? So yeah, anyway, that's enough of me yabbering and yakking on. Skip this bit, guys. Okay, as always, guys, thank you so much for your support and for stopping by and everything like that, and your time taking out not only to watch me yabbering on, but also taking time to comment. And always love catching up with you in the comments and or out of kind of the realms of YouTube. So yeah, I'm just going to leave you guys now with the ball, so enjoy. Thank you. Okay, I hope you guys can actually hear me. No, I know. It is Saturday, October 1st, and I just quickly came out. I know it's going to be windy, and I hope you guys can hear me. Ooh, the day has arrived. So tonight, it is going to be the Dressmakers ball in Leicester in the UK. And a whole bunch of us are all descending on the same building, and yeah, we've been making all our gowns and everything. It's incredible when you think like that, like how many people around are all doing the same thing and sewing their beautiful, stunning and exquisite dresses. A friend is going to take me to Leicester because yeah, I'm not really able to do that, and also there is a train strike, so yeah, some of the ladies have already gone to the destination because of the strike in mind, and some people get rides or take themselves driving, or maybe they might live really close and walk even. So yeah, it's just one kind of less thing that I have to deal with, and I'm crossing fingers that I am going to be okay. I really do not want to suddenly then have to go to hospital, so please guys, cross everything. And then I'm saying this and you do not know this until later on when I put the vlog up. See, I've completely lost it already. It's because I'm so nervous and anxious. That's all it's all it is. So okay, so I'm signing off for now, and then I will pick up the camera as and when. Righto, it is 14:45 PM and my friend has literally just packed, and yeah, just waiting for Adele to come down and meet me, and yeah, go from there. Okay, so Adele and I are in the bedroom. Little Miss Swoon chops over there. There she is, look. She's worn out already. So yeah, we got a bed each, and yeah, it's pretty, you know, regular sort of standard room as rooms go. My dress is in there. Lucky it fitted because it comes in 4 parts.
Mine's in the wardrobe.
And yeah, there's just like stuff there. And Adele's. You guys have already had a sneaky peek of Adele's stunning dress, but it's there, it's ready, it's hanging. It's hanging itself. So yeah, so there we go. So Adele and I are out, and I think somebody's taking me on a wild walkabout. Apparently Roy's fabric store is now closed. Blame me, because it's like I arrived a little bit later maybe. But yeah, there's like a market here and like people, stuff. Right, these two wonderful ladies, I'm going to introduce them. Adele, meet Adele. 1 hour, 2 hours. How do you both do? Okay.
I've never met another hotel, actually. No, I mean hotel. When I was a kid, I was loading with and then I was loading with no. I go to swimming pools.
Okay.
You can't move.
I have no idea. But it's one of my top part of the feathers I must have missed. And Adele is just a couple of stitches because, you know, bringing thread and supplies like that and needles to
Oh my god, I cannot see.
a sewing pattern. And she's not got her spectacles on, so she can't
I've
see.
got my contacts, but they're not as good.
Uh-oh.
Right. I hope no one's going to expect. Ah!
This is so
This
funny.
is the thinnest piece of thread you could have possibly given me.
If not, I can do it.
Hang on, don't move, don't move.
I can't move, kid. I'm stuck already.
I can't really see. You just moved.
I've got to breathe, woman.
Oh, okay, you can breathe. I can't see to really thread.
There's a terrible 3 now, I think.
Am I taking them up? Don't fall down, for goodness sake. This is just photos, isn't it, right?
Okay, so everybody is getting together. There's trouble there. The terrible two. I've got evidence, you know, from last night. So we are all gathering together, and yeah, we are having brunch. There's Suki. Everybody here. Look at Michelle's sweater. It's absolutely gorgeous. I've touched it. I felt it. It's absolutely amazing. And all the wonderful ladies down here. Everybody's had a wonderful time. And now I think they just want to fuel their bellies up. There we go. We managed to all squeeze in on this table, which, wow.
I'm really regretting that I didn't.
It's just amazing to have everybody together, all in the same room. It's so super cool.